Hi everyone, it's Lynn Love here. Thank you for joining me on this video where today I'm going to be doing a tarot card reading all about healing multi-generational wounding. And this is a really special topic for me because I've been deeply immersed in this. And this is going to be held and activated by the essence of Kuan Yin, which is the goddess of compassion, of healing, and of forgiveness. So it's going to be a really special video, and if you resonate or if you feel really called to watch this, please continue. And please don't forget to like and subscribe so you can tune in to more videos like this. So let's continue on the reading. And I feel really called to do this because this is just one of those topics that keep coming up for me in terms of just doing my own inner multi-generational healing and just realizing how interconnected it is to the things that I'm creating, to the things that I'm doing, to my visions, to my own values, right? Like my value has always been about like being stable and like being successful so that way I can give back to my parents. And being an Asian American, it's like you're kind of ingrained in that. You're really ingrained with that sense of giving back to your family and the collective health, right? Like how my community is doing, how my family is doing, like being very family oriented. And that also has come with a lot of conditioning as well of just, you know, not speaking your truth and things like that. So I want you to just reflect before we go into this reading on your own multi-generational story and just feeling into in your body, or maybe even a memory that comes up in your mind's eye of just what was the multi-generational story? What is your multi-generational story? Maybe what were the beliefs and the values that were passed down from your family, from the people who raised you, from your environment growing up? What were those things? Because those things are actually creating our present moment right now, whether we're conscious of it or not. And so this is one of those things that I think about a lot. And I want to give you some time to think about it before we dive into this collective reading of healing multi-generational wounding. And of course, this is going to be a series of videos all about healing the multi-generational wounding. But this is going to be the first of many. And it's going to be all about compassion and forgiveness and being able to reframe the story so that way we can have a better way of navigating our own lives and navigating our relationships with our families and navigating our relationships with creating more life. Because this is what I think about too, is that, you know, whether we're conscious of them or not, we're going to be passing down our essence and our experience and our values to our kids, to our own families. So how can we pass down the values that will serve our children and our families and the next generation? So I'm going to give you some time just to feel into anything that is coming up for you, whether it's a memory or a family member. You know, it could be somebody that you had a really close relationship with. And hopefully this comes at a really good time for you, because this is going to be very activating, and it's also going to be very deactivating in that it's going to deactivate and help you reframe some ways of looking at some of these situations that may have happened in the past. So I'm going to give you a couple more moments to feel into any memories, anything that may have happened, or maybe a relationship. I'm just going to have you just feel into that for the next couple moments. And just calling in the frequency of Kuan Yin here to be of guidance to us, and that everything that is shared in this is perfect, and that you can just let go of anything that does not resonate, or that doesn't feel good, right? Doesn't vibrate completely as truth in your body. You can let go of that. But anything that is maybe slightly activating to your nervous system, being able to have the capacity and the compassion to just look at that. Maybe say, is this necessary for me to sit with now? Is this truth for me? Does that feel right? Like something that I should actually sit with? Being able to use our intuition to be discerning in any of the information that comes up. Remembering that if you do resonate with anything, write it down so that way you can remember, or just taking any sort of mental notes for yourself so that after this you can sit with yourself, or you can go walk, or just find a moment to relax and decompress, because we're going to be moving through a lot of this deeper kind of multi-generational experience. And in that comes a lot of wisdom. So a lot of that wisdom is going to be downloaded into your body as well, and is going to be used to just help you understand yourself better. So now that you have maybe a memory, a relationship, something that's tied to your family or multi-generations, you have a grandma, great grandma, I have the first card as it comes up. It's the Star. And I'm so happy that this card came up because this is the Kuan Yin card. And I'm actually using the Voyager deck right now, and I'll link it in the description below. But this is the first card that I pulled. And this is just like the card. In this card, here in this card, you're going to see a statue of Kuan Yin. And you're going to kind of see this like galactic, cosmic background with gems and beautiful beautiful things happening here. It feels very cosmic. It feels very held by the universe and source and all that is. And this card is such a great card as the first card because I did call in Kuan Yin to anchor in the frequency of forgiveness and healing and compassion. And in this card, we have Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin is here. Kuan Yin is here to guide us through releasing and letting go of anything that anchors us still in the frequency of being hurt and ashamed or resentful or angry or sad. And it's really about remembering that we are guided, that each one of us are kind of walking down a path, and that path is so individualized that each person and each teacher and each maybe experience is actually teaching us a little bit of something. It's teaching us drops of something. It takes us the moment to step back and say, okay, well, what is this teaching me? And how can I call in the support and the guidance that I need to move through this? And if this is something that you resonate with in terms of feeling like, wow, I'm moving through a lot right now, I'm doing a lot of shadow work, or a lot of like ancestral things are coming up for me, calling in guidance, calling in the guidance of your spirit guides and those who have the highest intention for you is extremely important during these processes, because you want to be guided, you want to be held in the guidance here. Also, another thing that's coming to me about this card is that when we get this card, oftentimes it speaks to there's a lot of good fortune. There's a lot of good fortune, and that peeling back the layers of the onion is in fact going to reveal the star within you. It's going to reveal your inner essence that needs to shine out into the world. So especially if you're experiencing this now, you are one of those healers, you're one of those practitioners, you're one of those leaders, visionaries, artists, people who are being resonating towards healing on this deeper level, so that way you can help so many other people on their path. This is not just one of those cards you get out of the blue, and it just, it's really one of those cards that are like very significant, and it speaks to a lot of spiritual guidance. So through this spiritual awakening, may you be spiritually guided. Through this spiritual awakening, may you be spiritually guided, because in that guidance and through that awakening, you may awaken so many others. So just feeling that in your body, tuning into what that means for you, And we're going to pull the second card. Oh, okay. Let's see. I got two cards here. Okay. So I got two cards. I'm going to show you both of them. So this card here is the Seven of Crystals. This is going to be about narrowness. This is going to be about understanding that your mind is in fact going to be the support that you need for the heart to come through. And maybe this might not make sense yet, because I think this is tied to this card. Oops, this card. This card is going to be talking about change. This is going to be the Eight of the World. So it's going to talk about that there's this change happening in the material realm, especially in our own DNA and our bodies. There's a lot being activated. It's the number 8. So 8 is going to represent a shift in the infinite timeline and stories and the frequencies that are being reverberated into all things. In fact, this is another really great sign that there's going to be major shifts and shedding of skin. And it could also be talking about the narrowness, like being open-minded. We're going to be shedding and changing maybe the stuckness, the stagnation within our minds, so that way we can embody the shifts happening and step into the star. And what I love about tarot is that it speaks and shares a really special message and story. I really feel like it tells like a story throughout the cards. And so there's a lot of shifting, a lot of change. And if we can weather this change and weather this storm with grace and with love and support and with guidance, we can move away from the stagnation that our mind is really used to, or the habits and the things that we're anchored into that doesn't serve us. And we can embrace change in the physical level that can be really powerful. I feel like there's another card that wants to come through. Let's see. Okay. I'm like, oh. Okay, so I have one and there's another card. So here's the first card. Oops. Upside down. Well, could be reversed. Well, let's look at it first. It's a Seven of Worlds. A Seven of Worlds is going to speak to a major breakthrough. And I did get it reversed, popped up as reverse. So breakthrough. If we stay stuck in the old ways of being and we don't move with the change or we don't adapt, then we could actually delay our breakthrough. So this speaks to in delays of our breakthrough. So we want to navigate life and move with the flow of water, move with the river, allow the river to move us. Life is moving us. We're like fishes in the ocean, and in fact the ocean is moving the fish, right? It's kind of like life is this kind of larger framework and matrix that's moving us. So let's allow that to happen. Let's move with life and do it with grace and support, and being able to remember that this is all for embodying our authentic self. This is all for really stepping into what we're meant to do here, to guide others. And in fact, when we move with the flow of life, we can embrace the breakthrough. We can move out into our life with a lot of force and with passion. For me, this feels like a very passionate card. There's a lot of red, there's a lot of like bursting out into the world, a lot of initiation happening here. We can kind of like step into a new way of being, and then even possibly initiate new ways of being, whether it's through our creations or through our own healing path. So the last card that I have is the Sun. This is a great card to get as the last card, because what this is speaking to is that we're going to embody our soul identity. Our solar identity. The sun is our solar identity. It's what we are like moving around in our galaxy, right? It's if all of our planets and all of our energies are just like moving around the sun just like nature does. And if that reflects to our own interpersonal world, if all of our like inner planets are moving around our solar identity and supporting that solar identity, then that is extremely powerful and fortuitous. And this card actually shows a lot of pleasure and play and fun. It's like a summertime vibes. You know, there's like the beach and butterflies and flowers and like it's just like really beautiful. There's a lot of beauty here. And so it's anchoring in even more long-term moments of like beauty, right? Like if we could do the work and if we can move through the change and the breakthrough and have the breakthrough, not only are we going to like embody our authenticity, but we're going to embody like our sun, our solar identity, and the thing that makes us shine and become radiant. In fact, going through the breakthrough and the transformation and healing the multi-generational wounds can be extreme vehicle towards our next dharma, towards our next purpose. And we have so many purposes. This is like one thing that's blowing my mind is like we have many, many purposes in our life. Our sun is going to represent our purpose. Why do we shine every day? What is that thing that makes us shine? How do we radiate towards the things that make us super happy? How do we move towards those things? What makes us feel authentic? Could be different moments of our lives, different phases of our lives where we do feel authentic with doing different things. So, in fact, by doing the inner work, by doing the transformational work, it actually leads us closer to our authentic self. So, I feel like that was a very beautiful story and comprehensive. And if you're moving through any major multi-generational issues or ancestral trauma, highly recommend receiving support if that's needed, whether it's professional support or calling somebody about it, calling a friend, a family member that really supports you and is there for you. And know that you're not alone because I'm experiencing it too. We're all moving through it collectively. And especially, I want to remind you, if you are moving through it now, then you are one of those major healers, one of those major important people in the awakening and the ascension. So I want to honor you in that and thank you and celebrate you in doing the inner work. If you liked anything that came through in this reading, please share in the comments below. And I want to hear what you've received. I want to hear what you resonated with. And again, if you liked, please subscribe and like this video below. And I will tune in with you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.